Why, hello there, folks. So today I want to talk about two things before we properly start this part. One of them being that recently, or rather, like 1 month ago, I actually forgot about. I actually forgot to talk about this. Like I wanted to do this segment like much earlier, but I guess I forgot and had other stuff to do, so I kind of forgot about this. But we reached 2,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for joining the channel and for joining the series, and hopefully you're gonna be able to enjoy the rest of this and other series that I'm gonna do in the future. I would like to thank you so much for joining in and enjoying the things that I do. It certainly makes me happy. And the second thing that I want to talk about is a fun little discussion that I had with one of my viewers, like yesterday, or rather, like 2 days ago, depending on when this video is going to be released. But we had this little fun discussion about the Devil's Proof and how Beller uses it and all. Like, for example, he used trap X to commit a crime. I refuse to explain further, which is such a fun little twisted logic there. And then I joked about it and said that the tiny mouse killed him, and I refuse to explain further. And one thing led to another, and one of my viewers, Rebecca, actually made a OC mouse girl. Here's like a sketch of our OC mouse waifu over here that she made, which is very nice. Like we were talking about this, saying that, well, she describes her as a secret assassin sent by an organization to annihilate their enemies. And we can definitely consider her as one of the 72 demons. I mean, we have bunny girls and lion boys and such, so why not have like the entire animal kingdom as a part of the 72 demons? Like, why not? And I don't know, I have yet to go through Goetia and see if there's like any description that would totally fit her. I'm not really sure. Like, I have to yet to go through the entirety of it. I think I saw one entry for one of the demons, but I'm not sure. Like, I have yet to think about it. Like, you guys can surely join in on the discussion and, like, you know, give your thoughts as to what name this demon will have and all that. One of the 72 great demons. She's also Beatrice's friend. Grants the power of teleportation as the mage requested. Power of teleportation. Yeah, I think I remember in her description talking about traveling to places and such easily. She uses this wonderful power only for pranks. Her favorite trick is hiding keys and bags on busy mornings. Hiding keys? Wait a second. Hold on a second. Don't tell me that you're the one who hid the keys to Maria's house. Reason why we had that whole sad flashback in the first place. You suck. You're in the same camp as Lambda Delta, who made that like first Twilight in the second game, what with the candies and such, with the Halloween aspect of it. You guys suck. However, this power of hers is an ultimate weapon that risks delivering the little blow to a locked room mystery. Yeah, like in a magic aspect. You can easily say that, oh, someone like Gaap managed to get in the room, kill, and then get out of the room easily with her teleportation powers. Her queen bee-like strikes would probably penetrate all famous detectives and make them surrender. I don't know about that one, yeah. Like, I am a hard judge. You're definitely gonna have to do a lot to impress me. Is there anything new for Noby around here? Let me see. Had furniture, has multiple underlings. Vargiria? So as being Beatrice's master, she was also the consulting mage of Beatrice's old home. Old home? Like I mean, I guess we're talking about Kuadoria. I wonder. I don't know, like, is there any, like, new description around here for the Chister girls? Like, does she tease Chister 00 over here, maybe? I guess not. Okay, well, we read hers. Well, yeah, this is totally something.
そのためだけにあなたを呼び出すとしたら、それはまるでカシミヤのマフラーで雑巾掛けをするようなものですよ。
お久しぶりですね、ガープ。あなたのような大悪魔がとうとうこの島に現れてしまうなんて。いよいよこの島も幻想に沈むのでしょうか。
I will tell you if I start seeing Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny walking around the mansion.
部屋の惨状よりもこの豪華キャストの方が驚くべきね。シエスタ姉妹が3人もいて、大悪魔ロの上に大魔女ワルギリアに私まで。これは何事？ここはパンデモニウム？地獄の演奏会でも始めるつもりかしら。なるほど。そこで指揮棒が震えるのはあなたぐらいしか思いつかないわ、ゴールドスミス。
そなたにはベアトリーチをよみがえらせる我が儀式遂行のための進行役として協力してもらう。我が召喚契約に依存はないな。
依存も何も。天下の大魔女ベアトリーチを刺激した伝説の大召喚師ゴールドスミス教の召喚霊族に私が抗えるわけもない。
Yeah, whatever.
協力はするわよ。もちろん見合ったお題もいただくけどね。で、最初の仕事は
第一の番を免れた間抜けどもを捕らえよ。幸いにもここにはまだ7人いるではないか。南條にシャノンにカノン、ゴーダに熊沢、キリエにクラウス。ほう、この7人をまるまる生贄に捧げればちょうど13人だ。
Christ. You just kill them right here and that will be the end of the murders. Like, I kind of assume that there is a limit to how many you can kill in a given time. Otherwise, the murders that happened in the previous games would have been done much quicker in that sense.
第二の番以降を実行するタイミングが訪れるまで生贄の檻に放り込んでおくがよかろう。
カシミヤの雑巾がけね。
Wait, hold on. What do you mean cage of sacrifices?
了解したわ。
As Gaap shrugged her shoulders, she looked at Kraus, who was still down on his butt. She glared. Then she snapped her fingers, and Kraus was swallowed up by the floor, as though a round pitfall had opened up there. Whoa!
一丁上がり。
There was no hole in the floor. And it certainly looked as though Kraus had been swallowed up by a hole and disappeared. Oh my! Are we playing the floor is lava? Quick! Everyone on top of the table! Searching for her next prey, Gaap's gaze crossed Kiria's. She snapped her fingers. Kiria jumped back as though repelled. Her instinct was correct. Because in the place where she had been until a second ago, a round jet black hole had appeared. The same kind that had swallowed up Kraus. However, before she could catch her balance, another pitfall appeared and swallowed her up. Even Kiria had no way of eluding Gaap's capture. Bye, Nanjo. Snap went her fingers once again, and shook Nanja disappeared into the floor. Another snap of the fingers. And the and 410 let out a short yelp and jumped back. Boing. The Chister girls keep jumping around. Bunny hop, bunny hop. This time, a slightly larger pitfall had opened. Yeah. Like, I love effects like that. Like goofy sprites, like goofy sprite movements like that. Taking in both Shan and Kanon, who had been standing in a line by the door. Like, the best example I can give, like, there are a couple of examples that I can give. Like, the most recent one I can think of is Highway Blossoms, and how they use the sprites sometimes. Like, just throwing sprites around and moving them in, like, goofy ways at times. But because 410 had jumped away from the door, the way was no longer blocked. Instinctively aware that they would be next, Goda dashed out through the door. Of course, Kumasawa too was hot on his heels, and ran off at lightning speed. As Gaap snapped her fingers over and over, round jet black pitfalls opened some one after another behind them, chasing them. However, they did nothing but drive the desperately fleeing pair forward, and Kumo swallowed them up. Holy crap. They are running at Mach 1 speed. Didn't think that Kumasawa could run that fast. Kumasawa escaped in a matter of seconds.
鈍ったわ。二人逃がした。
ご安心を。逃走目標を補足中であります。
データリンクよし。にひ。狙撃しますか？
いいえ、それは許可できませんよ。貴重な生贄です。親方様の許可を待つように。
大ゴールドスミス卿、指示を待ちます。
第二の晩の訪れにはまだ早いと我が魔力の源泉がささやいておるわ。今はならぬ。好きにさせてやれ。どうせこの島からは逃げられぬわ。
親方様の魔力の源泉とはすなわちノイズとリスクと運試し。つまりは気まぐれというわけですか？
そうとも言うかもしれぬ。ガープ、ご苦労であった。儀式はこのまま着実に進めよう。さて、それはそれとして、次は我が孫たちだ。次期当主たる資格があるかどうかを試す。はてさて、どうやってその資質を確かめたものか。
その資格があると判断されたなら、ベアとの復活を断念されるおつもりで？
無論だ。にもかかわらず試す。女の身にはわからぬであろうな。この矛盾、我が狂気など。
相変わらず男ってどこか変ね。リスクを遊ぶという概念わかりかねるわ。
おやおや、あなたはそういうのが大好きかと思っておりましたが。
もちろんよ。男に危険なリスクと一緒に恋をささやかれたらキュンキュンしちゃうわ。ただしイケメンに限る。
Yeah. Imagine Kinzo just whispering like 1 in a quadrillion in her ear, and she will just faint.
お静かに。死後は慎むように。
実にかしましい奴らだ。だが少なくとも退屈はせぬ。これだから召喚は愉快なのだ。そなたらには我が儀式のノイズとリスクの天秤の片側を担ってもらうぞ。その働きに期待している。
Six brutally murdered corpses lay in the dining hall, which was tarnished by a red and gruesome decoration. By now, it was impossible to imagine that 13 people had been sitting here in an orderly manner just moments ago. Kinzo lined up the demons of renown and their subordinates, and loudly declared the beginning of an overwhelming night of mass murder, and swore to himself that he would certainly revive Beatrice and open the door to the Golden Land.
待たせたな。これにて第一の番、いよいよ開幕。
Yeah, I give the first Twilight a C+. Like, it could be higher, but I just do not like Kinzo.
金蔵め、相変わらず派手を好む男よ。付きまとわれればしつこいことこの上なき男も、舞台の上ではこれほどまでに映えるというのか。
くそ、相変わらず黒い殺し方ばかりしやがって。頭部半壊だ。てめえら魔女ども悪魔どもの悪趣味には相変わらずうんざりさせられるぜ。
頭部半壊。なるほど。これまでのゲームで一番理想的な殺し方がこれだと気づいたわけね。
理想的？
What? Because it will make us question if they are fake or not? I mean, we went through this sort of strategy before.
このひでえ殺し方がどう理想的だってんだ。
実に理想的じゃない。
Oh my.
一番最初のゲームを思い出してみるといい。
お前はさっき登場しやがった新しい悪魔とかいうやつか。くそ、また魔女の侵食が進んでろくでもないやつが増えたというわけなのか。
The more the witch's coercion progresses, the more Rokenjima tilts towards the other world. And that's why strange people keep appearing one by one. The island is closed off by the typhoon. Not only can no humans leave it, but new humans can't appear either. But the more the coercion progresses, the more witches and demons can appear, without limit. My, more and more demons and witches keep popping up, just as I thought way before. Quite spicy and exciting. Increasing one by one. By now, perhaps there are more demons than humans among the characters appearing in this insane tale. Their numbers might be precisely the figure representing this mad corrosion. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And not only are their numbers being affected by the corrosion, their fashion sense apparently as well. If the corrosion advances any further and even more weird people here, just what in the world will they be wearing? I think that they will actually start becoming more and more naked, rather than like more and more weird fashion sense. I mean, right there you can see quite the healthy side boob. It's too scary for me to imagine. Seriously, give me a break. It's not one of these weird ass people.
そうはいかんぞ。まだまだ増やすぞ。人間どもの語るクローズドサークルなる間抜けなルールをわらわがいくらでも怪我してやろうぞ。よく来たな。我がガープよ。
お久しぶりね、リーチェ。お元気だった？というか随分元気そうじゃない。あなた若返った？私が知ってる頃より200〜300歳は若々しいわ。 ああ、なるほど。
The demon grandfather had summoned and introduced as Gaap. Took a glance at me, and then grinned as though she'd figured something out on her own. Honestly, I felt that smile was repulsive.
ベアとの友人らしいな。ってことは輪をかけてろくでもねえやつってわけだ。しかしクローズドサークルがなんとかって言ってやがったが、どういう意味だ。
今の六軒島のような外界から断絶された場所で起こる連続殺人ミステリーはクローズドサークルとも呼ばれるが、外界からの断絶、つまりは閉じられた輪の世界というわけ。故に登場人物と容疑者は限定されるのが一般的にもかかわらず、新しい容疑者候補が次々に輪の外から追加されていくのはミステリーの作法に反する。
I mean, it can happen. Case in points. Umineko.
つまり人間とミステリーに対する魔女の冒涜ってつもりなんでしょうよ。
あなたがグレーテル？なるほど。賢い子みたいね。そういう子は好きよ。舌が甘くてとろけるから。
気色悪い。冗談は服だけにしておいて。
Good one.
デビリッシュプリティの最新作、ジャック・ザ・リッパークリスマスブラッド。人間界の田舎娘には理解できないセンスでごめんね。
通気性がいいのだけは理解できたわ。ついでに頭にも切れ目を入れたら、脳みその通気性も良くなるかもね。
ガープは魔界の流行にいつも敏感でな。しかし今年の流行りも実に大胆だ。わらわも一度ぜひ取り寄せてみるとしよう。
Yeah, like maybe one day we can have like a fashion show, like happen during one of the games. Though I am still waiting for that pajama party with the demons and witches.
リーチェにはアリグレがおすすめね。アリス&ザ・グレイブヤード。今度一緒に666にお洋服見に行きましょうよ。たまには魔界にもいらっしゃいな。
このゲームを終えたらぜひそうしようぜ。
それにしてもリーチェの対戦相手のお二人はなかなか可愛いわ。この子なら頭部半壊死体にどういう意味があるか察しがつきそうね。わかる？お嬢ちゃん。
さっきこいつは一番最初のゲームを思い出せと言ったな。どういう意味だ？
言葉通りの意味よ。一番最初のゲームの第一の番を思い出して。大人たちの死体が魔法陣の描かれた園芸倉庫の中で発見された時のことよ。覚えてる
Episode 1. The first twilight. 6 people, Kraus, Rudolph, Kyrie, Rosa, Shannon, and Goda, had died, and each of them had their head pulverized.
あの時、あそこには2種類の死体があったわ。それは顔面を粉砕された死体と側面を粉砕された死体の2種類。
そうだ。顔面粉砕はルドルフ、キリエ、ローズ、ゴーダの4人。側頭部粉砕はクラウス、シャノンの2人だった。わらわもあの時点では気まぐれに生み出した2種類の死体であったが、より残忍な死体である前者の方がわらわにとってむしろ不利であることに気づいたのだ。
ベアトにとって不利？
Basically, if the family members' faces were entirely blown, then we would go with the idea that those are fake bodies. And fake bodies are kind of ideal for us to create theories. Hell, like that is what I said in my imposter theory before. I mean, in my case, it wouldn't have mattered because, well, Like, I implied that someone has disguised themselves as their counterparts, thus they had to look identical to them. So, even if they died, with the faces still intact, someone like me could still say that those are fake bodies. Like if I were to, like, as I inspect them further and further and realize that they are not. Like, maybe they are wearing, like, fake wigs or colored contact lenses. But anyway, the point is, like, if their faces were entirely blown, then it would be difficult to identify them in that case.
そうか。そういうことか。
That's right. The smashed faces might look atrocious, but they made it hard to confirm the identity of the person. For example, at that time, Uncle Kraus and Shannon-chan had their heads only half smashed. And that itself was of course atrocious, but because half of their faces remained, it was easy to confirm their identity. That can kind of be difficult for what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking of some ideas, but because Shannon and Kraus's faces were half blown and their identities would be proven like a lot easier, it kind of makes it more difficult for me. Like, if Shannon and Kraus's faces were also like blown entirely, then maybe I could have worked with something there, but Or maybe that is what Beatrice wants me to think in the first place, to confuse me. Like, what originally would appear as, like, solid alibi for Shannon and Kraus could actually be the opposite. It's just that I'm not sure at this point. But that and the other three were different, because his face had been completely destroyed. Even I, his son, couldn't like guess that they had to have been dead because of his clothes and the like. Like, it could very well be that Beatrice or whoever the killer is blown the faces of the other four like entirely, just to make me think a certain way when in actuality it is something different. To like the purpose will be to detract me from the real solution, whatever that may be. In short, it remained unclear until the end whether there really was Dad's corpse.
第1のゲームの時にも、もしも推理バトルが行われてたなら、俺は多分、親父たちの死体を本人確認不能のため、偽装死体の可能性もあると主張していたかもしれない。何しろ、あのゲームの時には、ベアとは一切赤での発言もしていない。
True. But given how easy it is for us to create such a theory, I can definitely imagine Beatrice actually striking us with the red and saying that those 4 corpses were not fake, so I don't know.
お上手よ。それで正解。偽装死はミステリーの基本の一つ。たとえ医者に検証させたとしても、犯人とグルを疑われればその結果は信用できない。
True.
つまり確実な死を保証できない死体は常に魔女サイドを不利にするということ。
あらゆる死体について偽装死を疑い、その後の事件の犯人に想定することができる。バトラの嫌う手だけど、魔女に対する最も初歩的な一手ね。
ああ、そうだ。だからベアとは赤を使い出した。赤き真実で完璧な検証を行うようになったんだ。
そういうことだ。本来ならばこの第一の番の惨劇に対し、わらわはすぐにでも赤き真実にてこの度の6人の死亡を確定させるところである。しかし知っての通り、 今回のわらわの戦法はこれまでとは正反対の赤き真実の兵糧攻めといったところ。そなたが反撃の拠り所にしようとする以上、わらわは容易には赤を使わぬ。
Well, I would say that is a bit weird. I mean, think about why we needed red truths in the first place. Because otherwise, we would be barking at each other about what really happened. Like, do you remember those kinds of discussions, Battle?
必要最低限の赤にて、たった一箇所だけほころびさせればいい。つまり、わらわは究極的に言えば、そなたのあらゆる密室の推理について、あらゆる暴言を許せども、そのうちの一つを、たった一回の赤き真実にて打ち破るだけで良いわけだ。
散々俺をいたぶってきやがったくせに、俺が反撃に使い出したら今度は引っ込めやがったってわけだ。ふざけやがってよ。
とにかく赤を使いたくない。けっちりたい。
Yeah. Beato is being a meanie.
バトラをいじめてやりたい。しかし赤を使わずに確実なる死を保証するにはどうすればよいのか。わらわは悩みに悩んだわけだ。そのアイデアをガープがくれた。実に簡単な方法だったのだ。
当たり前なことを言ったらリーチがひらめいただけよ。私は誰にでも容易に身元の判別と完全なる死が理解できる死体を用意すればいいと言っただけ。
つまりはその2つを合体させたわけよ。身元の判別に必要な顔と完全なる死の象徴である魂の器たる頭部の粉砕。この2つを左右ぴったりきれいに合体させたら、あら不思議。この頭部半壊死体がパーフェクトであるという答えが出たわけだ。
パーフェクト。
お前絶対2色パンとか2色アイスが好きだろ。欲張りな子供趣味丸出しだぜ。
いずれにせよ、たとえ頭部が反壊していたとしても、現時点では彼らが死んだとみなすべきではないわ。
分かってる。ベアトがもったいぶって赤での宣言を拒む以上、全ては疑ってかかるべきだな。もちろんシエスタの太もも姉ちゃんたちの魔法殺人だって鵜呑みになんか絶対しねえぜ。
Alright. I mean, we can always have Battler himself check the corpses and determine their identities and all, like that way. Like, determine theories and blue truths and all. And just because we were having less red truths, that surely won't discourage us. Bring it on, Beto.
本当に慎重になったこと。最初のゲームの頃だったなら何でもかんでも鵜呑みにしてくれていたのにね。
公的種はこうでなくては面白くないというものよ。今は赤がないことを幸いに、自由な想像を広げ、好きに推理を重ねるがいい。一番最後の一番美味しいところでバッサリと赤き真実にて叩き切ってくれようぞ。
Silent, black, cold, painful. It was already gained consciousness bit by bit. And the first thing she thought was that it would have been better if she hadn't. After all, her body was so cold and hurt so much. It became worse the more her consciousness. It became worse the more her consciousness returned. It felt like she had been sleeping in the darkness for a long time, face down on ice cold marble. This is why I always tell myself, even if it's just a nap, and let's get on the sofa. I always know that if I naively try and close my eyes for just a second, and end up sleeping on the floor or at my desk, it will hurt my body later and I'll suffer for it. Because she slept on such a cold and hard floor, she was chilled to the bone. Because she slept on such a hard and cold floor, the side of her face that had been pressing down against it was very painful. Like if she were to look in the mirror right now, she was sure she would see an embarrassing mark. She didn't think that just rubbing it would make that mark disappear. She stroked the hurting side of her face for the time being, trying to smooth it over. Where is this? She thought it was pitch black, but it appeared not to be the case. Alright, I admit that it is shaky, to say the least. I mean, if one unknown ex-person were to disguise themselves as someone inside the family, and try not to be found out by anyone, Kasumi disguising herself as Kirie in front of Battler is probably the most difficult thing to pull off than any other possibility. I can see that. But the possibility still stands, even if against all odds. The idea behind the imposter theory, like I said before, is that the culprit is someone who is not accounted for in the red web. So it has to be someone we haven't seen before. Quite convenient for you, isn't it? If it's an unknown third party like Kasumi, or Okonogi or Juza, hell, even that Otsuki guy, then you do not have to suspect anyone from the family, which would be less painful for you. Alright, I know where you're going with this. You want me to doubt my imposter theory because you're gonna try and say that deep down I do not want to suspect any of the family members. Well, nice try, but no. If it's possible for any of the 18 people to have done it, I am gonna go that route. But as it stands, I do not see any other way to counterattack the red web without the inclusion of an unknown third party for the imposter theory. Still, there's plenty of questions to be asked in regards to how this unknown culprit managed to do it. You cannot deny that our hidden culprit was very knowledgeable in regards to how they maneuvered through the mansion without getting caught. If it were one of the family members or servants, it would be much easier for them to do so than a random Joe Schmo you can pick from the streets. Indeed. Which is why I even mentioned the idea of how maybe our hidden culprit was in cahoots with one of the 18 and managed to succeed in bringing everyone down thanks to them. For example, our hidden culprit knew which keys to use on each door inside the mansion, possibly thanks to one of the servants. Or they had someone inside the family help them with certain tasks and tools. From the looks of it, it seems that you have someone in mind in regards to an accomplice. Maybe, but we shall delve into that once we go through the first game one more time. I will further delve into the idea of accomplices and third parties like Kasumi, once we go through this. Before that though, I'm gonna have to state my imposter theory in orange here. An unknown ex-person outside the already established 18 humans is the culprit, impersonating an already dead human in all games. Alright. In which case, I'm gonna go with the idea that it is not an unknown ex-person. Then let's begin. Rewind time! The heck are you doing? Sound effects for the rewind. Nah, that doesn't sound like a rewind. A rewind is like this. That's for flashbacks though, not rewind. Yeah, well, bite me. Alright, well, let's see. We begin with Battler and his family preparing for their trip to Rokenjima. He meets the other family members who he hasn't seen in a long time. We have George, who states that they haven't seen each other at all for 6 years. We have Hideyoshi, Eva, Kirie, Rudolph, Maria, Rosa, and George, and soon enough, they're gonna reunite with Jessica and Kumasawa on the way to Rokenjima. You said that Kirie might actually be Kasumi in disguise in your Orange Fury. Would you still be able to say that if Kasumi knows even tiny details about Battler and Rudolph? For example, right from the start, with Rudolph's tendency to go to the bathroom with a magazine, and Kirie not letting him do that anymore, keeping a tight grip on him and all. If Kasumi were the culprit, would she even bother with the tiny details like that? I mean, in order for someone like Kasumi to succeed in doing such a dangerous mission like this, one must know even the small details in order to look genuine in front of other people. Like, otherwise, their cover would be blown. Same case can be said about any other possible hidden culprit. It can very well be possible that Rudolph gave Kasumi every single little detail about his relationship with Kirie in order for the plan to work. However, let's think about Battler here for a second. If we are to find out a detail here, in which tells us that Kirie knows Battler, and Battler knows Kirie, but it is a detail that would be impossible for Kasumi to ever know in regards to the relationship between Kirie and Battler, then would you agree that this is not Kasumi? If we are to find out such sensitive detail that would be impossible for Kasumi to ever know, then yes, that would pretty much destroy my theory about Kasumi being the hidden culprit. I mean, no matter how much Kasumi knows her sister, or how much Rudolph told Kasumi about Kirie and Battler, there can always be the possibility of Kirie and Battler knowing a certain detail that Kasumi would never be able to. The same can be applied to any other hidden culprit, although in that case, that will be much more difficult because of the aspect of there being 6 years gap between Battler and the rest of the family. Then it's a deal.
マリアちゃん、覚えてる？バトラ君よ。一緒に遊んでもらったの忘れちゃった？
無理だろ。最後にバトラと会ったのは3つの時だぜ。3つの時の記憶なんか残ってねえよ。
Okay, even all things considered, this particular piece of dialogue as well makes you question if this is Kasumi. Yeah. Alright, so we have Hideyoshi, Eva, Kirie, Rudolph, Maria Rosa, George at the airport. And soon enough, they're gonna reunite with Jessica and George. On Rokenjima, Goda welcomes the family. And then later, Battler sees Kanon at the entrance to the mansion. Now this is actually pretty weird though. Like when Kanon is introduced, it is Jessica who does some of the talk for him. Like how he is a man of few words but a good person. And she also mentioned his age in such a weird way as well. Like she is asking, if I remember correctly, he's 2 years younger than us, so 16, right? Like, why ask like that when she should know with confidence? At that point, I didn't really know the relationship between Jessica and Kanon, but knowing that Kanon worked there for like 3 years, and Jessica surely showed quite the interest in Kanon and all that, she would know his age at this point, so why say it in such a way, as if you did know? And what makes this introduction of Kanon even more weird is that later, when everyone was leaving and Kanon was left behind, he said the words, "even I." Like, even I what? It's strange, like, I don't know if this is something that relates to his life as a servant. Like, I would assume so, but I cannot really find any connection. Like, I cannot really say what he was trying to tell himself there when he said, "even I." Alright, so at the guest house, we have Hideyoshi, Eva, Kirie, Rudolph, Maria Rosa, George, Jessica, Kumasawa, and Goda. Later, Shannon comes in to join Battler, George, Jessica, and Maria and talk about stuff. It is said right here by Shannon that she has been serving the family for 10 years. 10 years. You know, I remember back during the first game or the second game when I was thinking of Shannon or Kanon as, well, the key of the epitaph. I remember theorizing about that the reason Kinzo keeps shifting and experimenting between servants from Fukuin Orphanage is because of needing someone to be the key to the epitaph. Shannon has been serving the family for 10 years, and I don't know, like from the looks of it, it doesn't seem that Kinzo sees Shannon in high regard. Even if apparently he let her serve him and have a higher rank than even someone like Goda with a lot of experience as well. Hell, Kanon serves him instead of Goda, and yet he served for 3 years here. And at the same time, since I went further with the epitaph and found the key, and I even made that orange theory, that would pretty much destroy the previous idea of how Kanon or Shannon, like either one of them is the key that Kinzo was looking for. So with all that being said, I need to ask once more, what makes Shannon so special for her to serve here for so many years? Not just 1 or 2 years, but 10, at the fragile age of 6. Here, narration also comments on how Shannon has a non-Japanese name, like an English name, and she ain't even a member of the family. I mean, we know from George that her name is Sayo, like that is a Japanese name for sure, so, names. Having a hunch, Mr. Grant? Well, I think I'm gonna jump ahead a little and announce a new orange theory in regards to an accomplice of the hidden culprit. As we mentioned earlier, Maria is the one responsible for the letter of discord in both game 1 and 2. The letter in the first game had 2 parts. The first one is the written text, praise my name. And the second part is the magic circle. The third magic circle of Mars. What god is so great as our god? And the meaning behind the magic circle was discord. Agitate internal divisions and cause the enemy to bring about their own downfall. The one in the second game said, are you making progress solving the riddle of the epitaph? Very soon you'll run flat out of time. The ninth twilight will start very soon. And it included the same magic circle. In both these examples, Maria was in the same room when the letters appeared out of nowhere. And she was one of the 4 suspects of putting that letter on the table when she was questioned by Natsuki in the study room in the first game. And not only does this happen when Battler is in the same room as Maria, which solidifies that these events did happen in Human Claim, if I were to go with my previous idea about Battler. But this same case did not happen in Game 3, mainly because, well, Maria died like way earlier than before, so we didn't get the chance to see a letter of discord like that. Man, to think that Maria would be in cahoots with our hidden culprit. How sad. Such strong heart being weakened by the world around her. Woe is me, poor thing. Another one ready to summon hell on humans.